Have you ever wondered how to choose between an XLR microphone and a USB microphone? Which is better for you? Which is better for your needs? I'm Brian from REDONEMUSIC, and today we're going to be checking out USB versus XLR microphones, and we're going to be checking out the pros and cons of each, as well as what might be best for your applications. So in front of me, I have two AT2020 microphones from Audio-Technica. I have one that's the XLR version of the microphone, and then I also have in front of me the USB version of the microphone. And so right now we're going to be comparing the two. I'm going to give you the pros and cons of each. Let's talk about the pros of the XLR microphone. First of all, the audio fidelity, the quality that you get with an XLR microphone in general is going to be better than a USB microphone. This obviously depends on the model. If you happen to take a lower quality XLR versus a higher quality USB, that's not the case, but the ceiling is so much higher with the XLR microphone. The next thing is the fact that you can do whatever you want to the voltage coming out of this microphone to the audio before getting to the interface. So if you want to run it through a compressor, if you want to run it through a gate, if you want to run it through an external preamp or a console or an EQ, whatever you want to run it through, you have that capability with this. And then the other thing is the latency on this microphone. So XLR microphones in general will not give any latency. When you record, you're getting it into the interface or the recording device pretty much in real time, and so latency is less of an issue. The USB microphone, some of the pros for this one, the main one for me is the ease of use. So for instance, right now, the way we're recording this as we speak, we've got this microphone plugged into a laptop, and that is it. We've got a software open on the laptop, and it's as easy as that. So the ease of use for those who are less interested in learning about all the technical side of audio and who just want to be creative and get something recorded, this is a great option for you. Another thing about it, budget-wise, this is a great option because although the microphone, for instance, these two microphones, this microphone is slightly more expensive, you don't need to buy the interface, you don't need to buy any other gear, you just need this and whatever you're recording on. So that's nice about this one for sure. And the portability of this one is great as well because like I said, all you need is the laptop and this. So you bring both to wherever you're recording. If you're recording on location or at a live event, whatever you're doing, that's good for that. Let's talk about the cons now. We'll start with the XLR microphone. For this, a con would be the fact that you do need some audio technical knowledge in order to run it effectively. There are some decisions in the signal chain that you'd have to make that otherwise you wouldn't have to with the USB. To get it running effectively, you don't need a ton of knowledge, but there is a good amount that you should learn if you want to use these to the best of your abilities. The next thing is, it sort of has to do with that. It's the time it takes to set it up. With the USB, which is very plug and play, like we said before, the XLR is less plug and play because there's more elements in the signal chain that you have to think about, make sure your gain structure is done correctly, etc. And then the last thing is that the unit itself might not be more expensive, but the fact that you need the interface and you need all these other pieces of gear on the side makes this a more expensive choice than the USB microphone. Some cons for the USB microphone, you can only use one at a time. So right now, for instance, we're running this USB microphone into a laptop, which is recording us. And if we wanted a second one for recording a second person or something like that, we would not be able to do that. We can only run one at a time. The other issue is the latency that you get with these types of microphones. Since the microphone itself is both recording the acoustic energy, getting the acoustic energy into the microphone, and then converting it into ones and zeros into digital, that can give you a bit of latency, which is never good when you're recording. And then the last thing is you need a computer to run one of these, right? You need something for the USB to plug into. It's not like the XLR where you show up at a gig and they have a console and you plug it in directly and you can start rolling. This, you absolutely need the computer with the software to run it effectively. So let's now talk about the applications you could use these microphones for. For many decades, the XLR microphone has been the standard of the industry for every single application you could think of, whether it's studio recording, live sound, post-production for film, on-location recording, you name it, this is the microphone that they're using for that. It's also great for if you're doing a podcast with multiple people. This way you can have more than one microphone, right? The USB, we said before, you can only have one. So for the XLR, you put 3 different microphones on 3 different people, and so you can mix each one independently and get great sound for all of them. The USB microphone is great if you're doing a podcast by yourself or a remote podcast where, you're on one end and someone else is doing the other side of the podcast remotely. It's great great for that. If you're laying down a rap vocal, or if you're a vocalist singing over a track that you've been given the stems and you just want to record your take over it, it's awesome for plug and play. If you're a teacher working from home right now and trying to get good audio quality for your students without having to know the whole technical side of things, plug and play, once again, very good for that. If you're streaming, doing voiceovers for YouTube, again, very versatile mic if you're by yourself recording. So this has been our overview of XLR versus USB microphones. I hope it's been informative for you. If you have any other questions or want to learn more, please visit our website at musicred1.com or give us a call in store. We'll be more than happy to help you. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Happy recording.